Welcome back to Midweek Politics. I'm David Pakman. Grant Jeffrey is recognized as one of the leading teachers on Bible prophecy and an intelligent defense of our Christian faith. He is the chairman of Frontier Research Publications Incorporated, a leading publisher of books, tapes, and videos. He's also the author of Shadow Government, How the Global Elite Plan to Destroy Democracy and Your Freedom. Thanks for calling in, Grant.
I'm glad to be with you.
So tell me what surveillance and security have to do with the Bible prophecy and how you're an expert in both. I think that's a good place to start.
Well, I think it's very clear from the prophecies of Daniel and the book of Revelation that in the future, in our generation, which I believe began with the rebirth of Israel in 1948, which is the generation which all of prophecy suggests will be the time of the rise of Antichrist, the tribulation period of 7 years of global dictatorship, and finally, thankfully, the return of Jesus Christ to establish the kingdom of God on earth, that this is the generation. And in my research on what is happening in the surveillance technologies as well as the technology that is moving us toward global government, in the book Shadow Government, as well as in the documentary, I point out that there are three different global government groups: the Bilderbergers, the Council of Foreign Relations, and the Trilateral Commission.
Okay, so before we get
absolutely committed to global government and the eradication of the United States sovereignty.
So, if I understand correctly, to sum up, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, a lot of this problem that you see here of global surveillance and the end of the world was started by the creation of Israel in 1948.
That was the beginning, from a prophetic standpoint, that generation that saw the rebirth of Israel would also, in their lifetime, see the return of Jesus Christ, including the rise of Antichrist and global government. What we have seen since 1948 and the rebirth of Israel has been the rise of global government, both in the European Union with 27 nations who have given up their total sovereignty to 500 million people now being administered by an unelected, appointed, secret government, the Executive Commission of the European Union, and we watch the various negotiations to produce a treaty between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, as well as South America, to produce a North and South American treaty, and also in Asia.
Right.
Their plan is to unite the three different groups of the world into one.
So it sounds like the Jews are a big problem in all of this, are they not?
Well, not a problem, but a pretext. Because a great number of people in the world really have a very vitriolic hatred of Israel and the Jewish people.
And in your opinion, is that hatred warranted in any way?
No, it is not. I believe Israel is one of the shining lights in the world. Israel, as a nation with 6 million people, produces more patents and more inventions every year than any other nation of the 200 nations in the world except America. After America, Israel is the second largest nation in production of patents, inventions that are being shared with the world in terms of developing desalination of water, developing the most unique and most effective agricultural systems in the world.
Sure. Certainly.
It's quite astonishing.
To get back to the book, and of course we're talking about the book Shadow Government, of which Grant Jeffrey is the author, you talk about a sort of, I guess I'd call it a big brother in today's society, surveillance of financial transactions, tracking internet searches, the ability to eavesdrop on emails
Indeed.
and phone calls. These are all reasonable security concerns. I don't think anybody would say they don't care about those things. But where I think we start kind of getting into the weeds and the conspiracy theories is when we address this secret global elite, as you call it in the book, that are using these technologies to control the world. Who are these global elite exactly?
Well, there are three groups called the Bilderbergers, the Council of Foreign Relations, and the Trilateral Commission. The Bilderbergers started in 1954. This was after World War II, and these groups of people royalist as well as the most powerful and financially wealthy people in the world, decided, and not unreasonably, that as long as there were 200 nation states, and as long as there were weapons of mass destruction, inevitably, conflict between nations would result in annihilation. These individuals, with the Council of Foreign Relations and the American Group, the Trilateral Commission involving Asia, Europe, and America, they concluded, and I do not believe that they're evil. I think they look at these situations and say, realistically, as long as we have independent nation states and weapons of mass destruction, knowing the history of mankind of warfare, then inevitably we will have a genocidal war. These individuals concluded that the only hope for mankind's survival was global government. What is interesting to me as a student of Bible prophecy is that the Bible suggested that in the last days, both in the prophet Daniel's book as well as in the book of Revelation, that there would in fact be global government, and that this global government would in fact take over the world, and they do not share our normal Canadian-American views of democracy.
So what will they do? And this, I don't want to get into a long in short, what will they do once they control the world, as you say?
Well, they believe that global government is the solution, both to the economic problems of globalization as well as how to eliminate global warfare. The Third World War, which would be obviously an annihilation of a great part of humanity.
So I have to say, when I hear you say this, and I think about, I don't understand, and maybe I'm not as well studied as you are on this issue. To me, when I think about this big brother secret society that's tracking whether I look up the Celtic score or our co-producer Lewis is looking up internet porn, I don't know how that connects to this World War III global genocide. I'm just not connecting the dots.
Okay, let me share that in the book of Revelation we're told that in the last days, during the time of the generation leading to the return of Christ, there would not only be global government, but a total surveillance society in which no one, whether they're rich or poor, free or bond, rich or poor, would have any ability to have any privacy. That unless they pledge their allegiance to this global dictator and accept a mark in their right hand or forehead, 666, they would not be able to buy or sell, work, or even live. Now, for the first time in human history, we live in a society in which the technology has now been developed, and I point out in my book, Shadow Government, as well as in the documentary, that radio frequency ID chips were introduced by the largest manufacturer of personal consumer products back in 1999, Procter & Gamble and Gillette, and they were endorsed by Walmart in 2004, that virtually every major product that is now available in our society has a radio frequency ID chip, a 96-digit number built into a device that is the size of a period at the end of your sentence, that is built into your belt, the label of your shirt, your shoes, and these radio frequency ID chips, as documented in the documentary by leading top Harvard University professors, provide the ability that when you go into an airport, a train station, bus station, or a bank, the radio frequency readers from 100 feet away can read that 96-digit number, identifying that belt or shoes or your shirt, but also because when you walk through the cash register and bought that with your debit or credit card, your identity is now connected with that RFID chip.
I understand.
There's no discussion in Parliament of Canada, Britain, or the U.S. Congress of this technology and its implications for total population surveillance.